Hello everyone, this is Chris, and there's something about survival island seeds that just make them so enticing. Whatever the reason may be, it's always interesting checking out these traditional size survival island seeds and taking on the challenge to see how well you could do. But there's certain times where you want an island spawn, but you want it to be quite a lot bigger than a traditional size survival island. And that's where today's seed actually comes in. So by typing in these numbers you see on screen right here, you will spawn inside of a survival island, which is, I think, around about 500 blocks by 500 blocks long, because if you look at right where we spawn in, it almost doesn't look like an island seed. It just looks like maybe another bit of land. Well, as we begin to fly around the edges, we might see that there is island on literally every single corner, every single edge of this one body of land right here, which means this entire space right here is completely and totally a survival island seed, but just scaled up massively. But let's backpedal just a little bit and head back to spawn and actually show you around what you would find on this mega island right here. And you might have noticed just around the place, there's actually some bees around the place. Well, yeah, that is because there is a beehive essentially, what is that, 10, 20 blocks from spawn? Pretty nice thing. So in case you do want to get yourself some bees or some honey or something like that, then it's actually not too hard to find them right here. And I should probably also mention the biomes you get on this one mega island. So as clearly seen right here, we do spawn inside of a pretty decent sized birch forest right here, and heading yourself just over this way, you do eventually find yourself a dark oak forest. So yeah, immediately getting yourself three distinct types of wood: the dark oak, the oak that spawns in here, and the birch is a kind of a cool type of thing, finding that amount of wood types on one island. And again, granted, this is a very big island, but still it's pretty cool. And something else that's also pretty cool to find inside this mega island is actually all the mini cave entrances, which leads to some mega caves. And this one right here is obviously not a cave entrance right here, but it does give for some pretty interesting style of waterfalls, which look almost as beautiful as these waterfalls right here, which actually does lead inside of a mega cave, which, as you can see right here, also happens to have a pretty decent sized mine shaft right inside of a pretty decent sized mega cave right here, along with some slime chunks all over the place. Is it just me, or does it seem like you find slime chunks in pretty much every single chunk nowadays? Well, regardless of that, you can see again, this mine shaft is actually pretty decent sized, and because, you know, a lot of it is hanging above the ground, you do get a whole bunch of these wooden planks, which does make for a pretty unique style of mine shaft right here. And speaking of unique style things, you might notice a particular type of thing if I'm like maybe right around here. Yeah, there's a mob spawner right there, and there's another mob spawner right there. And I can't say for 100% certainty if you could get both of them to load in, but it seems as though it could physically be possible if you're really lucky and really precise to actually load in both of these mob spawners. And seeing as you made it the full 500 blocks to the opposite end of the island, you might notice this particular structure right here. Yeah, you get yourself a Rune Portal seeing itself right next to the beach right here. So in case you do want to get yourself to the nether, which by the way we will do, then this is actually a pretty decently easy type of way to do it, if you don't include the crying obsidian all over the place. And going through the portal, you might notice that there's not too much interesting or not too many noteworthy things happening right directly here. Well, that's because you have to go around about 100 or so blocks to get to a certain thing inside the nether you might be interested in. Because from your portal, if you hit yourself up in this direction up here in the hole in the ceiling right here, if you head in this direction past this one wasteland over here, past this one, I believe, Crimson Forest, heading yourself down here, you'll find more Crimson Forest and things like that, but that's not the main reason you might want to head over in this direction, because just over here, you'll find yourself a Bastion Remnant right here, and one that's actually fairly dug into the terrain right here. So in case you do want maybe to just mine your way over to it, because there is a viable way in actually doing that, then it is totally possible. But we're not quite done with the overworld part of this one mega island seed, because there's actually quite a few other things of note to point out. And first off, I think the most obvious one is mainland. So if you don't want to like spend most of your time on this one island, or you do and you want to go find more resources, then just head yourself to the north of the island and head about 100 blocks over the ocean, and then you'll eventually find yourself the main surrounding island, which goes on thousands and thousands of blocks in a singular direction. But honestly, who would ever want to go to mainland when you can explore the vast oceans and find yourself, I don't know, maybe an ocean monument right next to the mega island right here? Yeah, you get this one pretty much about, what is that, 50 blocks or so from the main island right there, with quite a lot of blocks actually covering it. And something else that's actually covering it is this other rune portal right here, which also has some strangely non-water blocks right here, which you might be able to take as an advantage right here when traversing this one ocean monument right here. But even with that little air pocket, it'd still be relatively easy taking out that one ocean monument. So why don't you challenge yourself with, I don't know, maybe a second ocean monument? It's not too far from the other one, so I don't think it's close enough, much like the spider spawners, to actually load in both of them if you were to make like a farm. But in case you do want to take out this ocean monument too, get the gold, get the prismarine, get the sponges and everything like that in 2 separate ocean monuments, and yeah, totally viable and totally a pretty decent option. And before I get to the risk of repeating myself again, there's another ocean monument pretty much right next to this one mega island. So this island, somehow, I don't know whether it's just chance or luck, and there's another Rune Portal right here. I didn't even know about this. So in case you want another really familiar looking situation, then I guess it is totally here, and kind of strange. Again, it's kind of strange how similar this one is to the first one. And just in case, are there any other ocean monuments that just want to pop out of nowhere that I didn't know about? Any at all. I am alive, I am here, and I am... Is that an ocean monument right there? Okay, granted, it's much further away than the other ones, but still, there's another ocean monument just sitting itself over there, so in case you want to load up on lots of sponges, then I guess this is a pretty good seed to do that too. But I guess in general, if you're looking for a seed to share with friends, or you want a much bigger survival island seed, then this one totally is there, and totally is actually one of the better ones I think I found so far in 1.18 generation. So yeah, let me know what you think of the seed down below. Let me know if you have any particular seeds yourself. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.